Hello, Tarot friends. This is Ultraviolet Morgan, and thank you for joining me for another installment of a walkthrough of the Thoth Tarot. Okay, now we'll just continue with where we are. Here's another up-close look at the Rosy Cross. I'm fascinated with the layers of the petals. Alright, and here we have the Knight of Discs. So now we're beginning with the suited discs, and as I mentioned, this is the horse that comes in. They all come in at an angle. This is the one that curves. It's the only one with a curve, so I'm not exactly sure what to make of that, but it's something that I noticed that I'll be giving some consideration to. This Knight, the Pentacles, is the slowest moving knight, and perhaps that's why the horse is in a twisted position to show that he's still. And he's in the fields. He's holding his shield and looking off into the distance. The Knight of Discs. And this deck, of course, uses discs rather than pentacles. But I am used to pentacles. The Queen of Discs. Now, she is just absolutely stunning, as the queens tend to be. And she, with this headdress, she does remind me of Maleficent, which I haven't seen all of. I saw part of it, and I think when I was watching it, it was late at night, and I fell asleep, so that was unfortunate. But, and of course, we have all the representations of the earth sign and the blades of grass, which would seem to indicate that she's perhaps some type of fairy folk living in the grass, amongst the blades of grass. I find that to be a quite romantic ideation. The Prince of Discs, and he is on his chariot, and he carries this globe, and he also carries this symbol here, and we have bull. So Taurus is a bull, is a earth sign, and yeah, this is beautiful as well. And the coloring gives you that very grounded solid feeling. Princess of Discs, which this is the picture that's on the cover of the box, and you'll see here's a rose similar to this rose on the back. The disc that the princess carries is the rose itself, with the yin-yang symbol on the inside. And she also carries a staff of some sort. And here she's in these woods that poke out and remind me of thorns sticking out in all directions as if to protect her. The Ten of Discs is the wealth card. And this card has a static contained sort of feel to it, to me. Then we have gain, which has movement. Now we have movement, as gain means, things are coming in rather than just staying as they are. We have this overlapping circles, kind of a Venn diagram. And these emanations, which, again, if you look, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might not really, there isn't a 5-pointed star, but the top part does remind me, or, okay, actually, here it is. This one, and this one remind me of the pentagram. And this is discs, so. And then these monies have, looks like Roman kings or something like that on them. They might be specific gods, or they might just be some general. They're probably something. Not great deal of detail was paid. Prudence. This one is really beautiful to me, and I like the flowers remind me of pinwheels, and I like the motion. I'm not sure how that connects with the concept of prudence, but I like the feeling of this. This is to me, this is kind of a joyful feeling card. But at the same time, it almost gives me a certain feeling of danger, or of, so maybe that's where the prudence comes in. Maybe they draw you in, but you don't want to get too close. I don't know. So here's failure, and here we have these, it's just very dark, and I've read that it's like dying, decaying material, organic material. If you look at this card, some of the coins have similar images. We have the helmets, these helmets, and then this looks like a bull. And also, if you look here, these sort of look like eyes in their way. Oops. And you go from this, very bright and colorful to this very deep and morose kind of coloring. Ooh, okay, success. This one is very vibrant. Very vibrant and just very stunning. And there again is your rose cross and several astrological glyphs. There's the moon, there's Venus, that's Taurus, I believe. Mars, I don't know all of them. I want to say that might be Jupiter, and I don't know that one. And there's a Taurus in the moon. Okay. Here's worry. And this does, the colors are similar, but then they're darker, and they are just so heavy. There is a heavy, sort of worrisome feeling about this card. And again, we do have the pentagram. And then we also have these shapes in the, to me, I want to call them Sephiroth, because they remind me of the Sephiroth of the tree, but these are connected to a pentagram rather than a tree. And then we have the circles inside of the circles, inside of the circles. Okay, some of these are turned upside down. Power. This one is really interesting. I feel like this might be a diagram of a temple. That's what it feels like to me, a diagram of a temple, which, or even the, I wonder if it's the Holy of Holies part of the temple. It's almost like this outer part and then this inner part, which would be really where the power was concentrated. I'm not really sure if that's what this symbolizes, but I will be interested to find out if I'm correct about that. Now we have works, which is an interesting concept all on its own. And definitely you get this feeling of, again, motion and work and sort of gears and wheels turning and keeping things in motion, which is a really beautiful concept. And then we have the two of discs. I want to say pentacles, but it's discs. And rather than seeing a sort of gestury looking person juggling, we actually have just the infinity sign itself, which is a snake eating his own tail. And then we have within, we have two colored yin yang signs, or I don't know if they're called something different when they have color rather than being black and white. And then outside we have, again, just the repetition of the round shape, the circles and circles and circles, and the snake that eats itself, and which is all very infinity, which is all very change, never-ending, constant change and growth. And the depth in this card is also really quite amazing. The way that this area feels like it goes deep in, and this area here feels like it's coming forward. And this actually reminds me of, for me, my conception of the spirit versus the soul. So I think of the soul as being like a well, and it's deep, and it's wet. And then the spirit is like a butterfly or a bird or something, because it's high. The soul is deep and the spirit soars. And the spirit is not dark and deep, it's light and bright and high up, and it soars, and they're two parts of the same, but they're opposites and they're interconnected. And that is definitely the feeling that I get out of this card. Which this card, the Two of Pentacles, has been a card that follows me around when I first, a few years back, when I first started having decks again, because I had to replace my decks that had been missing for so long. This was one of the first ones I noticed just constantly showing up for me. So yeah, I really like that one. Now I'm coming down to the part where I have not even seen these cards yet, so this is the best part, because these are actual first reactions. And I put this other card on top just to prevent myself from, so that I can pull a card out and look at it and not see what's underneath. So here's the Ace of Discs. This is so beautiful, and I don't know what this is picturing, but these to me deeply resemble angel wings, although there's no angel face or body or limbs, but it does remind me of angel leaves. And then here inside it says, I think it says Meta, okay, M-E, maybe T or R, A, and then over here we have O-H-P-I-O-N, and then we have T-O. So I don't know what those mean either, but this one is, the coloring to me is very rich and grounding, again, which it is the Ace of Discs. So that is what one would expect. Now we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, and this one goes this way. So I was kind of wrong in my characterization of the Knight of Pentacles to say that it was going in this direction. I should have been going by its body to say that it's going in this direction. But it's going at that angle, but then it stopped and turned. And why can't I? Oh, it's right here. So the body of the horse is heading more in, or it might be this. I'm not sure now. Maybe it's this direction. When you look at all three of them, or all four together, you can see that it fits into the pattern, but, well, kind of breaking it up a little at the same time. This one also reminds me of a sort of fairy creature. I'm not sure what this is, but that it seems to be coming off his hat. But when I see it, I feel like it reminds me of a dragonfly, kind of, sort of wings. And he's the Knight of Swords, and he looks like a jockey at the racehorse. He's leaning forward. He's crouched forward, and I had a word, but I forgot what it was. Just clearly racing very quickly. His body language tells you he's in the position to move forward with great speed and alacrity. Alright, here is the Queen of Swords, and she is up on the clouds. She's holding a head. That's interesting. She's shirtless, and she's sort of reclined. She's sort of... So, the feeling I get from this is that, as a modern meme would be, she gives no fucks. I really feel I don't even give a fuck, kind of a feeling from her. She has her sword that's pointed down towards the earth. She has her throne, and she is this amazing queen and goddess in the sky. And she has so much power that she just doesn't have to care. she doesn't have to. Here's the Prince of Swords, and this one is just really jumbled and hard to make out at first, but once my eyes adjust, I see again we have the chariot wheels, and here is his head, and he's got sort of something on his head, or a hat of some sort, or a crown, and he holds his sword behind his back, which I find to be really curious. Like I said, I don't know much about the courts. I'm only going to have to dig into studying the court cards in this deck because they're just so different to me. Here's the Princess of Swords, and she also seems a little bit awkwardly positioned. She reminds me of the Tower card, or this card reminds me of the Tower card. I feel like she's gigantic, and she's also up in the sky. I definitely feel like the sword suit are a suit of giants, giant sky gods, maybe even Norse. I could definitely see them being Norse gods. Ten of Swords is ruin, of course. And again, you have all of this sort of chaotic energy going on all around. 9 is cruelty. Very interesting. The normal 9 of Swords, or the Rider-Waite Smith 9 of Swords is a person who is feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, upset, dark night of soul. For that, the card is about how an individual feels the individual is feeling bad inside of themselves. And in this card, the 9 cruelty is something that's more projective onto someone else, that's active, which fits with the Suit of Swords because it's a masculine suit. So, we have these swords with blood just dripping off of them. Yeah. It's sort of, just to look at the card from the opposite perspective, the opposite of the person feeling the cruelty. I mean, cruelty, I suppose, could be feeling or receiving or giving cruelty, but when I hear cruelty, my thought is more focused on the person or situation that's creating the cruelty. And it's a really good depiction of that, too. And I'm pretty sure these are more yads raining down. Or else they're raindrops. But I'll have to study that. So now I'm up to 21 minutes. So once again, I'm just going to say, give a thumbs up if you like this video so far. Hit the subscribe button for more content. Hit the bell if you want to get the update for when the next video in this series goes up, because I've got to stop now before it causes any issues. And leave a comment down below on your thoughts, because I'm here to create a sense of community and communication. So I do hope to hear from you. Until the next time, tarot friends, be well, and we'll see you again soon.